Okay, back for assembly. So the instruction book actually comes with instructions for the S4040 and for the S3020. So, like I said, I got the S4040, and we're going to start this first assembly part, which is putting the rails together. So basically, there's holes on the end of the rail. I know you can't see it, so why am I pointing? And this rail goes on the outside of that rail. Yep, I just did that. Nope, can't tell you why. Other than lighting's a little rough. I am in the basement. I was going to put it together out in my little shop, but that's a building with no temperature controls, and it's getting kind of hot today. So the basement's better for me. Again, that's where I have my assembly table anyway. And yes, I'm sure it's probably the assembly table some of y'all are going to be making fun of me for because it's so tall. And I just put the wrong bolt in the wrong place. It does tell you which bolt goes where. I just wasn't paying attention. These in here. Then we'll turn it around so I can get the other side attached to this one. It does have feet. Make sure the feet are facing down. I know, y'all, some of you just rolled your eyes at me, but that's okay. Some of you said, oh yeah, I forget to do things like that too. Second one started before I tighten the first one up, just to make sure I don't make things harder for myself. So it's 2 bolts on each side. These upper frame rails, they came pre-assembled, which is really nice. I have purchased a kitchen sink through Vevor before, so I was really pleased with the outcome on that one. And then I did a lot of checking on this stuff before I bought it, because as you can imagine, I am not a rich guy. I don't know what that's happening. Something's rolling around in here. I bet I'm going to need that later. Go ahead and get this rail put together. Same little bolts. Do I talk too much for you? Because if I do, I'm sorry. But get used to it. If I wasn't talking to you, I'd be talking to myself. I don't know. those videos where the people come on and they have to say absolutely nothing, and you just get captions rolling across the bottom of the screen. That's not my cup of tea. I like it when the person talks while they're working. One, it helps me understand what they're doing, and two, I don't know, it's just a conversation. So, I'll probably, if I can figure it out, I'll do some editing to get this sped up some, so you don't have to suffer through the whole thing. But again, this will be probably the second video that I post. So editing skills may not be where I need them to be in order to make this more enjoyable for you. Alright, so the next part is to put the base plates in, the working surface. I'm sure there's an up and a down on these. So making my first assumption, might be wrong, but it's an assumption, is that I have to put these where the end pieces are sticking out. So I'm going to put that on the bottom so that I actually have a hole at the top. And that just drops right in the slot. So does this one. Right, just drops in the slot. No, it doesn't. Why? Because somebody put a rail on backwards. So let's flip this around and take this rail back off. We're going to do that a lot. Hang out here. And no, I'm not going to edit it out so it looks like I did it perfect the first time. And dropsies. I also have that disease. Butterfingeritis. No, dropsies. Can't hold on to stuff. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call there. That's why I put it on backwards for reals. I was trying to have this piece and that piece lined up the same, but they slide, so I'll be able to line them up in a little bit when I'm ready for them. And yes, I'm using the tools that they sent. Way I don't have to run around trying to find where's my bits, which one's the right size. Take these two down, and we'll be back to where we were a few minutes ago. And hopefully, no more setbacks. Look at that, dropped right into place. pretty significant gap over here. I'm going to assume that's intentional. So place the panel on the base and align the screw holes. Alright, let's see the screw holes. Then the M20. M20. This guy. And it requires a different bit. So this one. Let's clear that stuff out. A little bit of leftover stuff from the cutting. Don't complain because it looks better than some of what I do. There it is. Someday we'll work out the lighting down here, make that a little bit better. Before I put any more in, I'm going to do the other side to make sure that I've got them both where they need to be before I tighten anything down, because these slots are elongated to let it slide. Needed to slide just a little bit to get this side on. So, for what it's worth, get both your panels started first. And make sure all of your screw holes line up before you tighten everything down. Again, very pleased with the amount of pre-assembly that was done on this. I've had these things come where, well, not these things, I've never had a CNC before, but I've had things come in where basically you had to put every little piece together, and it takes 2 days to put it together before you can even start figuring out how to use it. So this is actually nice. And like I said, we went with this one because I watched some videos on it. Looked like it did a good job. Most of the people doing it were pleased with what they got. And I have purchased a kitchen sink from these guys before. I'm really happy with that sink. I might show that to you someday. And this is MDF board that all this is mounted into, so don't tighten the screws down too much. You don't want to break the board. Just gonna try to make sure I've got all the slack out that I can, so this join in the middle is as smooth as I can get it. A little bit of a hump right there. Looks like it'll lay down. Shouldn't be an issue. So up next, I have to put that on that. Alright, so in the book, these little cutouts right here are on the same side that the motor parts are on. So it'll face like this. Looks like this goes in between. Just try doing one side at a time for now. Slide that one up. Align the screw holes. And 5 again. Oh. This one. Uh-oh. That one's not started. What's going on? How is that possible? There's the right place. Come on now. That's the right place, right there. Let's get started. Alright, I feel like we're cross-threading it, so we'll back this one out. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Right place that time. It's always something. I'm just raising up on the other side, take some pressure off so it's easier to run this bolt in. Right, both of those are in. Slide this up. Same drill, but this time there's less ability to move things around to see if you're in the right spot. Nope. That just slipped right in then. Let's see, kind of shine some light on it. Target area. I thought. Yes, I own a flashlight. No, I don't have it with me. Hey, we made it. Alrighty. That's the machine part. Now I need to turn it around to face me because I got to put the motor on. Get that mounted up. Two holes there, but there's 3 mounting holes. So which 2 holes does it go in? Looks like it goes in the bottom 2. I skipped ahead apparently. There we are. Alright. So I need to use the long ones. Dropsies. So I'm sure you can find videos out there of people assembling things and they just do it right the first time and it's 100 miles an hour and they're ready to run this machine already. But not reality. reality for us mere mortals. So I should have showed you, but this bracket has one side that is not completely enclosed. It's got a gap in it so that you can slide this motor down in order to slide this down in and then tighten that down. So now we're going to find skip over the motor part. No, I did not. That's it here. Place the main shaft on the gantry frame. Fix the main shaft to the gantry frame. And somewhere in here, I guess I just know how to put the spindle in, because the spindle obviously has a front and a back. So I'm going to assume that the connection points face the rear and not the front. How far in does it go? I'm going to start off with assuming that it sits on top of the mount. Every time I say, I'm going to assume, a little voice in my head goes, uh-oh. So we switch this around because you got this tiny little handle and this long shaft. If you switch this around, then you can use the tiny little part, and your long handle gives you the leverage you need to tighten these up. Because if you keep trying to just use this little part as a handle, yeah, fingers beware. You're going to hurt something. Alright, again, I'm not going to tighten this down monstrously tight. And I'm going to assume I have enough room back here to connect my lines. Every connection point on here has got a marking on it. I've got a positive and a negative, and then this says Z limit, the sticker up here that says Z motor. So all of this is color coded, and all of it is got a lot of explanations to it, so the wiring part shouldn't be too bad. But I'm going to pause this video for a little while. Actually, I'm going to stop this video